It's Tuesday, August 26th. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. More firefighters head to Nova Scotia's Long Lake as it continues to grow. New Brunswick reopens the woods, but some trails remain closed.
And coming up, all of rain totals from yesterday, plus when we can expect more showers.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Todd Battis.
Good evening. It was a tense few hours in a Dartmouth neighborhood this afternoon when a gas leak prompted evacuations. Many people could smell gas before emergency alerts warned of the problem. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness is on the scene. John, tell us what the latest is.
Well, Todd, you're right. There were some tense moments here in this Dartmouth neighborhood, but residents are now returning home. Just after 4, Halifax Fire gave the all clear, saying the leak no longer posed a danger, Todd. The emergency alert went out just before 3 this afternoon, telling people in a wide area around Albro Lake Road, Pinecrest Drive, Crystal Drive and Lancaster Drive of a mandatory evacuation because of a natural gas leak. Eastward Energy says through social media that a third party damaged the gas line. About an hour later, they confirmed the damaged section of pipe had been found and the leak was stopped. Now, as for those evacuated from their homes, Halifax transit buses were used to remove people from the affected area. Craig Arnold told me firefighters helped him out of his apartment building.
Pounded at my door because I was on my couch and it took me a while to get in my wheelchair and come over. And they were still pounding and they opened it. They said, "You got to get you out of here." I said, I'm in an electric wheelchair, but I have another one. I said, I've never used. And they carried me down all the stairs in this.
And Todd, even though people are back in their homes and the power is back on, Micmac Mall is going to stay closed for the remainder of the day out of public safety, and they will reopen their doors as usual tomorrow. Todd.
All right, thank you, John. Leading us off in Dartmouth tonight. Let's go now to the latest on the wildfire situation. 20 firefighters from Ontario are heading to Nova Scotia to join in the effort to put out the Long Lake fire, which just keeps growing. It comes as many people are still out of their homes. CTV's Jesse Thomas in Annapolis County again tonight.
Luann Eisner, her partner, and 4 pets were forced to evacuate their Trout Lake home in New Albany Sunday.
Let's go for a walk.
As the Long Lake wildfire grew quickly out of control, they knew it was only a matter of time when the evacuation alert would ping their phone.
We had most of our things already packed prior to. So we just grabbed like our animals, our 2 cats and our 2 dogs.
But even as the fire drew closer, the emotional weight of leaving their home was overwhelming.
It's something that's really hard to put to words. It's just a feeling of no control and not knowing what might happen. If we were going to have a home to come back to or not. If we were saying goodbye to our lake.
There's a sense of anxiety being felt right across Annapolis County, where the fire began burning 12 days ago. It more than doubled in size Sunday and has since grown to more than 8,000 hectares in size.
Even though it may not be described as extreme in terms of large flames and you know, the volumes of smoke we saw on Sunday, it's still burning very, very intensely and deep in the ground.
Christine McCorriston had her bags packed and ready to evacuate Sunday if the call came.
I live on a lake, so I look out and I can see the big plumes of smoke out there. And it looks really close, but it's still about 10 kilometers away from where I live.
McCorriston and her colleagues at the independent grocer in nearby Annapolis Royal are pulling some food items together to share with the more than 150 wildland firefighters from out of province who are staying at the former Canadian Forces base in Cornwallis.
They had to put a call out yesterday for supplies that were needed, so we're here hoping to donate a little bit to that cause.
For Eisner, what comes next isn't clear. They are staying with relatives for now, while she keeps an anxious eye on her property through a security camera, the last connection to home.
On the camera, it's very smoky, but there's no visible fire. So we're grateful for that.
As it stands, about 500 homes or properties have been evacuated, and we know some have suffered damage or been destroyed. But Annapolis County Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow wouldn't confirm any of those numbers today, saying the county wants to notify property owners of any damage or destruction before they release those numbers publicly. Todd.
That certainly makes sense. Jesse Thomas leading us off in Annapolis County this evening. Now in New Brunswick, improving conditions means you can go into the woods today. The province lifted restrictions on Crown lands, but when it comes to walking in urban trails, the CTV's Nick Moore reports it all depends where you live.
All wooded areas of Odell Park in Fredericton are now open once again after being blocked off about 2 weeks ago.
We just walked on the outskirts. Not the same as getting your walk in.
It was very sad that the forests were closed, and well, now my children and I were very excited.
People who've been going elsewhere to be active are happy to be back.
Walking on pavement is not easy on the body, not at our age anyway. So yeah, we've been missing the trails for sure.
It pales in comparison to what you can do on this trail here.
The city of Moncton says all of its municipal parks and trails are now open. The city of Miramichi says all of its designated ATV trails are open too. In St. John, the city's trail systems, which includes Rockwood Park, are still closed. In a statement, St. John Fire Chief Rob Nickel calls it the safest option right now because the woods are still extremely dry. New Brunswick's burn ban remains in effect. As of late this afternoon, there are 12 active wildfires burning, with 2 out of control.
We've avoided losing structures. Clearly, there has to be some degree of infrastructure lost to NB Power, particularly along Route 8.
NB Power says 15 of its distribution structures have been burned in the Miramichi area, which did cause a few customer outages. Restrictions on timber harvesting are being reassessed every day. Right now, it is only allowed between the hours of 6 p.m. and 12 noon. Now, as of today, every local DNR office in the province has reopened except for the one in Miramichi. Initially, every local DNR office had shut down temporarily so staff there could focus all of their attention on the wildfire fight. Todd.
All right, Nick, in Odell Park in Fredericton. There's a live look at Truro right now, 22 degrees. We get our first look at the forecast. Bring in Kaylin Mitchell in the CTV Weather Center. And again, the focus on those wildfires and the rain. Some got a good douse of it, others very little, hey?
I was just about to say, if we were looking at the Truro webcam from yesterday, it was a much cloudier picture and there was rain coming down, and that rain really fell heavy across parts of the Maritimes, but not everywhere, including in the vicinity of that Long Lake fire where it ended up on the lighter side. Maybe they only saw a few millimeters. Looking at some rainfall reports from yesterday into early Tuesday morning, you can see the heaviest of the rain fell in Nova Scotia, beginning around the Halifax area and then extending east across the province. That's where the most widespread totals in excess of 30, 40, even 50 millimeters. Had a couple reports of actually over 90 millimeters of rain coming in from that storm system, including one from Lake Charlotte. It's in the vicinity of the eastern shore of Nova Scotia, and one from Doug Bitcairn. I want to thank Doug very much for sending that report in from actually around the Halifax area, over 90 millimeters of rain. But more showery conditions for most of PEI, parts of the southwest of Nova Scotia, most of New Brunswick, just a few to several millimeters. And that's too bad because really could have used that heavier rain in the vicinity of that Long Lake wildfire. There's some issues still with some wildfire smoke being present, air quality warning still in effect for Annapolis County, and air quality statements extended up through parts or through the remainder of the Annapolis Valley, Kings County to Hants County, as well as for Lunenburg and Halifax County. Some of that smoke is expected to be present over the coming days. It was mostly directed sort of up through parts or near the valley today by the southwest wind. As the wind gets lighter, though, for tonight, some of that smoke may begin to drift back towards areas like Lunenburg County and Halifax County, so that may be noticeable by the start of the day for tomorrow. From there, the southwest wind returns, and after that, on Thursday, it's more of a westerly wind, and once again, we can see that there is expected to be some smoke moved from the proximity of that wildfire to areas a little bit further towards the east, including, once again, Todd, in and around Halifax. So we're still looking for more wet weather in the forecast. We'll talk about when our next chances of showers are coming up when I'm back later on.
Okay, in about 16 minutes. Thank you, Kaylin. Security video of a Halifax break-in seems to support claims that thefts are becoming more frequent and criminals bolder. CTV's Vanessa Wright reports from Halifax.
The video captured on surveillance cameras showed two suspects breaking into a Halifax beer store early Monday morning.
They smashed through the window. One person came through, went right to the till behind the bar, tried to find money in there, which there wasn't. Luckily, we keep it locked up. It took 2 iPads, while the second person went into our retail store, took 3 cases of beer, kept the door open and left out the front door.
The general manager also claims one of the suspects defecated on the store's patio deck.
The main word that comes to mind is violated. It's been incredibly frustrating. We lost about 4 hours of business on Monday morning.
It's the latest example of what some believe is a growing problem in the city.
The unfortunate reality is break and enters do occur everywhere in all cities. Sometimes during the evening, sometimes during the day, so they are somewhat of a common occurrence.
And according to the Quinpool Road Main Street District Association, as these crimes become more frequent, suspects become more bold.
People coming into businesses, shouting at them, taking things off the shelf, and then claiming they bought them and trying to return them. The crime is definitely on the uptick. Not just on Quinpool Road, but throughout the surrounding districts, Spring Garden Road, the North End.
In situations like these, police say there are measures businesses and homeowners can take. It may not stop a crime from happening, but could be a key factor in solving one.
Have an alarm, which is again the reason why we were prompted to go there. And secondly, video surveillance in and or around the business itself is always a helpful tool.
The brewery is thankful they had both those things, posting the video to social media for help identifying the suspects as the investigation continues.
It really is a battle we're going to have to fight, and we need more resources. We need more boots on the ground, and we need the police to respond as quickly as possible.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
If you want to get another look at that video or read more about the incident, you can visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. We have it posted there. Anyone who's ever held public office will tell you, criticism, well, that's part of the job. Increasingly, though, complaints have turned to threats, and it's led one Maritime mayor to take a stand. He explained his decision with our Avery McRae.
St. Stephen's mayor says abuse towards members of council, as well as town staff and volunteers, has gone beyond a few critical social media posts.
I'm seeing physical assaults happen, threats to livelihoods, threats to persons. It's getting dangerous, and I'm worried.
The escalation in incidents prompted the border town's mayor to write an open letter to residents condemning a rise in personal attacks, harassment, and intimidation against council and staff. Alan McCachran knows decisions by the municipality don't always get a 5-star review, but a disagreement doesn't warrant the actions he's seen.
We should be showing our children how to act and not normalize this, you know, and I know this is way bigger than little old St. Stephen here, but we got to do better, and we got to start somewhere.
Since the town of St. Stephen made the post to social media, Mayor Alan McCachran says he has heard from a number of other municipalities in the province who are dealing with similar issues. The Union of Municipalities of New Brunswick says the rise in elected official harassment is happening nationwide.
We're all talking about, you know, what are ways that we can, you know, work on this challenge collectively. How do we make things, create a good environment for folks who want to, you know, run?
New Brunswick towns like St. Stephen will be at municipal polls in about 9 months. And McCachran admits it's hard to encourage people to run.
I'm worried that, you know, we're going to miss out on the opportunity of getting some great leaders to sign up and run for our communities on all levels of government. You know, and I've been watching that for a long time, and it's very concerning.
In a statement to CTV, a spokesperson for New Brunswick's Department of Local Government says they are aware of a rise in harassment claims against elected officials and are keeping in touch with other provinces and territories to learn how they are handling similar issues. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. Stephen, New Brunswick.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Students in New Brunswick will not be getting a free lunch this fall as promised, but those attending dozens of schools will be getting Fridays off. Those are a couple of significant changes coming as classes are about to resume in the province. CTV's Derek Haggett has the details.
The superintendent of the Moncton Area School District has a lot on his plate with just a week to go before classes begin. A new pilot project introduced in June will see 2 professional development days a month at 37 Anglophone schools. The goal? Improve literacy while reducing chronic absenteeism.
This initiative, this pilot program is direct response to improve student achievement. That's what this is about. This is about student achievement.
McLean says the district has received minimal negative feedback, but some are concerned about childcare.
I mean, I still have the bills to pay, and teachers do as well, and I understand 100% their position and their responsibilities. Is there not a week, maybe during March break?
Meanwhile, another initiative is on hold. A pay-what-you-can school lunch program promised by the Liberals during last fall's election won't be ready for the upcoming year. Instead, the province says they will roll it out for 2026-2027.
From election, moving into forming government, and now putting it into place for September was a very ambitious target. They're taking the time to reflect, ensure that we do it correctly and not swiftly.
Overcrowding at Moncton High, a hot topic for a few years now. McLean promises there will be no more portables and enrollment there is static. As far as teacher vacancies go, McLean says last year at this time it was north of 100.
Yesterday there were 17. So we are in a much better place this year than we were in our 2 previous years.
Classes start 1 week from today. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
And that will bring us to our first break of the evening. Still ahead, the full forecast. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre joins us in conversation. But first, Donald Trump's battle with the Windy City.
The governor of Illinois and President Trump going head-to-head after Trump threatened to send National Guard troops into Chicago. I'm Rena Roy, and I'll have the latest coming up.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to send National Guard troops to more Democratic-run cities, including Chicago, in what he's calling a crime emergency. But local leaders say they're not needed, with crime trending downwards. ABC's Rena Roy has that story.
A blunt message from the governor of Illinois to President Trump.
Mr. President, do not come to Chicago.
Governor J.B. Pritzker slamming the White House after Trump threatened to send National Guard troops to Chicago to address crime.
Chicago, everybody knows how bad it is. They should be saying, please come in.
Chicago police say homicides have gone down 50% since 2021 after surging dramatically during the pandemic.
This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals.
According to police, violent crime is also down in the nation's capital, reaching a 30-year low this year, even before the deployment. But Trump has sent 2,200 Guard troops there who are armed and walking the streets, some tasked with cleaning up the district.
We're really proud to be a part of defending the nation's capital and ensuring it is safe and beautiful and working with law enforcement.
Yesterday, Trump touting the work the National Guard has done in D.C.
We've had 0 murders in the last week.
But overnight, D.C. police responded to a shooting where 1 person died. According to the Council on Criminal Justice, the cities with the 2 highest homicide rates, St. Louis and New Orleans, though run by Democrats, both are in states with Republican governors.
We've talked a lot about Democratic-run cities and states. Would you also consider sending the National Guard into red states and red cities that are also seeing high crime?
Sure, but there aren't that many of them.
Now, Trump says he's also looking to send troops to other Democratic-run cities like Baltimore and New York, but wants the invitation first. New York's police commissioner telling U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi that crime is down in the city and the NYPD can handle it. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
On the other side of the break, the rain, for those who got it, moves out. The sun is returning. Meteorologist Kayla Mitchell has the details of the full maritime forecast after this. Well, they're almost all set up at Officers Square in downtown Fredericton for Alan Jeffries. The bluegrass artist takes the stage tonight in the free concert series downtown. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful night for that, Gillen Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, there were some pop-up showers and a few small pop-up thunderstorms in areas of New Brunswick today, but it looks like those are beginning to wind down, so that might line up perfectly for that concert.
Yeah, one thing I want to make mention of, we just got word in, and this is certainly good news, that the Susie Lake wildfire, that's the one at Bears Lake in Halifax, is now fully out, and that is from the Department of Natural Resources. So,
fantastic.
A bit of good news, sir.
Absolutely.
That rain would have helped in Halifax.
Oh, yes. We just needed to see it in other parts of the region, including into the southwest of Nova Scotia. It would have been nice to get that 50-plus millimeters in the vicinity of that Long Lake wildfire. Let's take a look at weather conditions across the country. We'll go back to details here in the Maritimes in a moment. We've got a lot of heat that's building up through the west. Temperatures continue to climb. Edmonton at this hour sitting at 30 degrees. It's hot in Regina. They're sitting at 31. It's even really starting to warm up in Manitoba. Winnipeg at 26 degrees and Thompson sitting at 27. Moving off towards the east right now, temperature is much more moderate, maybe even slightly towards the cooler side. Parts of southern Ontario and southern Quebec. Toronto right now, 17 degrees. We've got 21 at Montreal. Here in the Maritimes, 25 at Fredericton this hour, 23 both Halifax and Charlottetown, and 19 degrees. Rain being reported at St. John's in Newfoundland. Taking a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, as I just mentioned, there is still a scattering of some pop-up showers around the Maritimes, mostly around parts of the north of New Brunswick, the southeast of that province, few areas of PEI. Those are going to continue to come to an end as we make our way through this evening. And then during the overnight, just a few clouds with some fog patches developing. Now, some high cloud cover is expected to increase over Nova Scotia early Wednesday morning, so a bit of a cloudier start to the day for that province. And then a mix of sun and cloud for both New Brunswick and PEI. And a general mix of sun and cloud for the Maritimes Wednesday afternoon, with winds out of the west and southwest with some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. There will be a chance of some isolated showers, especially around the southwest of New Brunswick and interior areas of the southwest of Nova Scotia late Wednesday afternoon into early Wednesday evening, much like the showers that popped up today, though. Very spotty in their coverage and will be coming to an end moving through the evening hours. So basically being driven by daytime heating. Talked about the winds there briefly, but tomorrow's winds out of the west and the southwest, they'll be sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with gusts between 20 and 40. Remember, there are some air quality statements and an air quality warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia because of the possibility of some near-surface wildfire smoke. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the Maritimes will be mostly falling into a range of around 10 to 15 degrees. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow, north of New Brunswick, between 20 and 24. And for central and southern areas of New Brunswick, the high temperatures mostly around the mid-20s. Low 20s for a few areas around the Bay of Fundy coastline, including 22 for Grand Manan and 23 for Campobello. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow with high temperatures of 21 to 24 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Southwest winds 20 gusts to 40 kilometers per hour. 20 to 24 for Cape Breton. Around the mid-20s for the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia, the eastern shore. High temperatures 22 to 24. 23 for Amherst for tomorrow, 24 for Truro, and for the city centers Halifax and Dartmouth. Upper Tantallon near 24, then 22 for Chester and Lunenburg. 24 degrees for Bridgewater and Shelburne, though, and 21 at Yarmouth, the Annapolis Valley tomorrow with high temperatures near 25. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook, let's talk about some further chances of some showers in the region. Not much of a chance of showers for New Brunswick on either Thursday or Friday. Both those days look like a mix of sun and cloud. But showers look likely on Saturday, followed by a mix of sun and cloud for Sunday, followed by the next chance of showers around Monday of next week. After that on Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud and high temperatures towards the mid-20s. For Nova Scotia as well, for the upcoming long weekend, there are going to be some shower chances in it. It's a mix of sun and cloud for both Thursday and Friday. Isolated showers expected on Saturday. Lower chance of showers right now on Sunday. And then a mix of sun and cloud for Monday and Tuesday of next week. Most of the high temperatures over the next several days will be around the low 20s, except a little bit cooler Sunday into Monday, highs in the high teens. For Prince Edward Island coming up, a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday, highs in the low 20s, mid-20s on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers on Saturday, followed by slightly cooler temperatures on Sunday. A chance of showers on that day, and same thing goes for Monday. And then that will be followed by a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday of next week.
Certainly some decent weather for folks who are trying to squeeze the last bit out of summer before going back to school. A lot of people returning to work as well.
Can you believe it's September next week?
Hard to believe, eh? We'll see you later for the Wake Up Weather. Coming up next, Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre is in the Maritimes. He'll join us for a few questions. And we have this story on the scene.
G'day there, Halifax. Vance Joy here. I'm excited to be in town. My show is kicking off tonight, and I'm excited to tell you more about it.
Mornings with Crash and Sarah Betts.
Hey, tomorrow we've got those times when a dirty look is just not enough.
Well, that and Harvest Music Festival tickets at 7:20 with the Move Mystery Wheel.
Welcome back on this Tuesday evening. Our guest tonight is Pierre Poilievre. He is the leader, of course, of the Conservative Party of Canada, opposition leader, and with a new seat in Alberta, he'll soon be back in the House of Commons for the fall sitting. It's nice to have you with us again.
It's great to be back. Thank you.
You have said that you and your party will not merely oppose this government, but you will offer, quote, real solutions, propose real solutions. Can you give us an example of what one of those real solutions might be?
Sure. Well, we could start with the Liberal crime crisis. We have a solution for the raging crime in our streets and even in our rural communities, and it's we call it the 3 strikes you're out law. Very simple. An offender commits 3 serious offenses and they are not eligible for bail, parole, probation, or house arrest. We're going to be putting that forward in a law that we hope the government will quickly pass so that we can take that tiny minority of criminals who are terrorizing our streets and put them behind bars so that we can make our communities safe again.
That's been implemented in some places in the United States. It's been criticized that it doesn't necessarily work. Why do you feel it would work in Canada?
Well, it will work in Canada because we have the problem is a very simple one, actually. We have a very small number of people doing a phenomenal amount of crime. So in Vancouver, they had to arrest the same 40 offenders 6,000 times, so 150 times a year per person. If you took those 40 people off the street, you'd have 6,000 fewer people violated and victimized. But unfortunately, Liberal laws let them be repeatedly released, even within minutes of their latest arrest, on bail. So this would lock them up, keep them out of society and circulation while people can live in peace. And instead, the Liberal approach has been to go after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested hunters and sport shooters who are not a risk. We think we should go after real criminals, and that would be a practical solution to stop what I call the Liberal crime crisis that followed their introduction of these lax, easy laws on criminals.
Haven't serious crime rates, though, decreased in Canada?
No, they've gone up dramatically. They're up 50% since the Liberals took office. After having dropped under Prime Minister Harper, we brought in very tough laws and crime dropped by 25%. Then Trudeau got in and basically made it so that you get automatic bail under C-75. You get house arrest under C-5, even for serious sexual and violent offenses. And that's why you see this same tiny minority terrorizing and tearing apart communities across Canada.
Let me ask you about tariffs and the relationship with the United States. You have been quite adamant you don't like the fact that Canada has recently removed some tariffs on U.S. products coming into the country. Why don't you like that? I
would clarify slightly. What I would like to see is tariffs removed on both sides of the border. I think that the mistake that Mr. Carney has made is that he promised elbows up, and of course it's been elbows down ever since the election. He removes tariffs without getting anything in return, and he is signaling weakness. That's why the Americans have actually increased tariffs on Canada. The Chinese sense the same weakness, so they're increasing tariffs on our fish harvesters, seafood producers, and farmers. And the weakness is costing Canadians here at home. So what I think we should do is go to President Trump and say, listen, why don't we both remove tariffs? Let's get to a tariff-free relationship again, and in exchange for that, we will build up our military like you haven't seen since the Second World War. We'll harden up our borders against drugs and other dangers. You'll be safer, we'll both be richer, and we'll be a stronger continent as a result.
Is President Trump interested in a win-win, though? He doesn't seem to be.
Well, he hasn't had to be because the incredible weakness the Liberals have put us in. If you think about it, since they've taken office, $500 billion of our investment has left to the states. That's a problem that has worsened under Mark Carney. In the last 5 months, about $60 billion more of our money is left, with the biggest outflow of investment in the 5-month period. And that's because of Carney's high taxes, blocking resource projects and pipelines. I want to go the opposite direction. So again, back to solutions. Conservatives are proposing a Canadian Sovereignty Act, which will make this the fastest place in the world to get permits for mines, pipelines, export plants, forestry projects, open our ports to the world. Well, and that'll get us away from just relying on the Americans and make us a truly sovereign and self-reliant economy.
Let me ask you about ports, because today it's being reported, and the Prime Minister in Latvia spoke about big projects in Churchill and Montreal, Port of Montreal, that could be coming for the export of things primarily like LNG. Here on the east coast of Canada, we're sort of looking around and going, well, over here, because we have an LNG port in St. John that could be retrofitted for that type of purpose. Will you fight for maritime ports to be included in that?
Absolutely. And in fact, I strongly support natural gas development, liquefaction, and export from Eastern Canada. We should be able to defund Vladimir Putin right now by selling our gas to the Europeans, but the Liberals have blocked every natural gas liquefaction and export project that has been proposed in Eastern Canada, saying there's no business case. Mr. Carney still won't commit to one, and yesterday the Polish ambassador was laughing at us on CBC. He did an interview where he started laughing. He said, we do buy Canadian natural gas from the Americans. They buy it cheap from Canada and sell it to us at a higher price, said the Polish ambassador. So the Americans are making money off our gas instead of letting great Eastern Canadian pipe fitters, welders, and electricians build liquefaction facilities and ship it off directly. We should be getting $14 a cubic, a British thermal unit. We're getting $3. So we got to get the Liberal rules out of the way, unleash export over the Atlantic, and that starts right here in Atlantic Canada. You mentioned defense spending. It's clear that Canada will be buying a fleet of submarines. It was mentioned today that it's likely either going to be a German model or one from South Korea. Regardless of which it is, should the procurement regulations state that Canadian aluminum, Canadian steel be used, and should some of those submarines be at least built in Canada? To the first question, absolutely. We need to support Canadian steel and aluminum production. To the second question, we have to ask ourselves why the government has had to admit that we are not competitive in producing these sorts of things. Same thing's happening on the West Coast with ferries. They say we can't make ferries in Canada. Well, why not? Why is it that the taxes and the red tape is so thick in Canada? Even though we have the best workers in the world, I was just at the Irving shipyard today, the government bureaucracy stands in the way of making more of this product at home. So we need to remove that bureaucracy and become more self-sufficient and reliant on ourselves. That's why we're putting forward the Canadian Sovereignty Act. The other idea we're proposing is to get rid of capital gains tax when people reinvest in Canada, bring back those hundreds of billions of dollars of investment to grow our economy here. I only have about 30 seconds left, but I want to get this in. Canada Post today, it was revealed it lost $400 million in the second quarter. Package traffic is down 37%. Of course, a lot of that had to do with the last strike. Would you sell Canada Post? We definitely have to cut the costs back. We can't be hemorrhaging this kind of money. Mr. Carney's deficit is even bigger than Justin Trudeau's, even though he hasn't introduced a budget yet. We need to cut government spending and bureaucracy, including at Crown corporations, so that we can get... Is that a yes? Well, I'm not making that announcement now, but we have to get the cost of government under control so that we can bring down the taxes, the inflation, and reverse the Liberal cost of living crisis. Mr. Poilievre, thank you for coming in. It's always good to see you. With you. It's wonderful to be back out east. That's Pierre Poilievre, of course, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, opposition leader. We will take a time out. We'll be right back. In health headlines, yet another way the Mediterranean diet can help reduce the risk of disease. CTV's Stephanie Seacoast has that and more in tonight's edition of The Lifeline.
We've heard about the benefits of the Mediterranean diet when it comes to reducing the risk of dementia. Now we're hearing about how it can help with diabetes. A new study finds people who reduced their daily calories on the Mediterranean diet and engaged in moderate daily exercise, while also receiving professional weight loss support, had a 31% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes than those who only followed the diet. The research is part of an ongoing 8-year randomized clinical trial in Spain. All 6,800 participants in the trial were overweight or obese, and while no one was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the start of the study, all participants had metabolic syndrome, defined as high blood pressure, high blood sugar, altered cholesterol, and excess fat around the waist. The first human case of a flesh-eating parasite, known as the New World screwworm, has been confirmed in the U.S. Officials say the case was confirmed on August 4th and involved a person who had recently traveled to El Salvador. That person has since recovered, and officials believe the risk to public health is very low. The parasite in question is rife in parts of Central America and Mexico. It can destroy wildlife and even kill household pets. Human infections can be fatal, but are rare. Some furniture sold at the Brick is being recalled due to high levels of lead. The recall affects Lars branded furniture, including the Lars counter table, chair, wood top, metal base, and tabletop glass insert. Health Canada says the black coating on the products contained an excessive amount of lead. More than 17,000 affected products were sold across the country between June of 2023 and July of this year. No illnesses have been reported, but people who bought the furniture are advised to stop using it immediately. With health and medical news, I'm Stephanie Seacos for The Lifeline.
Time for the scene. Musician Vance Joy is launching his brand new tour, and he's doing it here in the Maritimes tonight. He talked to Katie Kelly earlier today about a new chapter in his life.
Lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man.
He captured hearts around the world with hits like Riptide. Now, Australian singer-songwriter Vance Joy is back on the road, kicking off his brand new tour right here in Halifax.
A lot has happened since we last chatted. You've become a dad. Congratulations. How has dad life been?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, it definitely shakes up your priorities. And yeah, I feel it makes everything actually, I mean, obviously it just is a total life changer, but it's lovely.
The new father says life on stage feels like a welcome change of pace.
Honestly, like I'm, compared to the responsibilities of parenthood, like playing a show is very chill and like, you know, it's almost like I'm in a hotel. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time away, but you know, a night or two of like good hotel bed is pretty good. So I can't complain.
And in between it all, Joy has been creating new songs.
I kind of put my head down for a week and really tried to make some new music because it's been a little while between drinks and I don't know if I'm the most prolific of artists, but I feel confident in, you know, some stuff that I've been working on. So I think in the near future, it'll see the world and it'll kind of rejuvenate the set list.
Ahead of tonight's concert, he's feeling a few butterflies.
This is first show nerves you're seeing right now. I'm just in my room. I'm just pottering around. I'm playing guitar. I've got a guitar in my room, so I'm just kind of fiddling around, just trying to like refresh my memory on some songs.
And he's hoping to make a memorable impression with the Halifax crowd.
I know it's going to be fun tonight. I know the crowd will be super nice and the people here are friendly and we'll just try and we'll always do our best and we'll hopefully connect and make people hopefully sing and dance a little bit, and I think it'll be always first shows are fun because it's the first time, it's super fresh and you just feel energized. So I think tonight will be no exception.
Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found.
Fans can expect all the favorites plus a few new songs.
So I hope that people go, "Ooh, that's good. I'm into this." Or I hope they don't even think, they're just enjoying it, and then they go, "Wow, that was what? How long did that?" I hope they say, "Wow, that was quick. How long was that?" wow, that was that long, because it's felt like that. I hope that's the effect it has.
And when the show wraps up,
I'm excited to have a beer tonight after the show. Successful show, maybe some delicious food, and just celebrate.
All right, thank you, Vance and Katie. Let's take a look at what's on TV as we go to break.
With Aaron and Peter.
Weekdays at 7, you can win $1,000 with the $1,000 minute.
10 questions in 60 seconds to win, and you can get the answer to question number 10 on our podcast.
To our market report now, the Dow ended the day up 135 points. Canada Post says it lost $407 million in its second quarter. B&M Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya has details.
Canada Post is reporting its largest quarterly loss, and the corporation says it's mostly due to labor uncertainty. The before-tax loss of $407 million comes after lengthy negotiations this year between the corporation and its union. Now, this compares with a profit before tax of $46 million during the same period last year. And here's a look at how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar finished on a high today at 72.28 cents US. West Texas Intermediate was down more than $1.50 to 63.25. Western Canadian Select climbed 95 cents to 51.72, and the TSX is up almost 170 points at 28,339. And those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Kayla Mitchell on the weather deck. What do you got?
Well, it's a very pleasant evening out here right now, Todd, and I can actually hear myself talk because it's not pounding down rain like it was yesterday evening. Let's take a look at our viewer picture for tonight. And speaking of rain, there were actually a couple of showers and a few small thunderstorms developed in parts of the Maritimes for today. This picture was sent in from Deanna Perry at Cap Lumiere, New Brunswick. And Deanna here has caught a developing thunderstorm. And there were a few that developed and made their way over to the strait between New Brunswick and into areas of Prince Edward Island. Cap Lumiere for tomorrow is a mix of sun and cloud and a high temperature near 21 degrees. Day planner for tomorrow, starting off across the region. Any fog patches that are around will be dissipating quite quickly as we move from the morning into the afternoon. Bit of a cloudier start to the day for the province of Nova Scotia, and a bit more of a mix of sun and cloud for both New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Morning temperatures will be mostly in the range of 10 to 15 degrees. Those are early morning temperatures. And moving into the afternoon, we'll call it a mix of sun and cloud across the region. Most high temperatures in the Maritimes tomorrow will be similar to today. So we're talking about low to mid-20s, and low chance of a couple spotty showers developing in the southwest New Brunswick and the interior of the southwest of Nova Scotia late Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. Winds tomorrow as well will be very similar to today. They'll be out of the west and the southwest. They'll be sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, some gusts between 20 and 40. So basically some breezy conditions by our standards here in the Maritimes. Let's find out what's coming up tomorrow on CTV Morning Live.
Wednesday on CTV Morning Live, Tech Talk.
Tech contributor Amber Mack joins us on the show with her picks for the latest gizmos and gadgets to get you ready for back to school.
News, weather, and more. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, Wednesday.
Finally tonight, stepping back in time. Way back at a festival in England. The sounds of swords clashing, galloping horses, it was all at England's medieval festival that brought history back to life over the weekend. The three-day spectacular, one of the largest gatherings of its kind, attracted thousands to the Sussex countryside. That's near the south coast of England. A range of activities took place, including jousting, as you saw, battles, craft work, falconry, little music on the side. Food and drink was also there with a medieval theme with items like hare. That would be like rabbit, assuming, not the other hare. And mead. And they had a good time. And that is our look at the day here at home. Bruce Frisco has your late update at 11:30. CTV News Atlantic.ca updates news reports any time of the day. I'm Todd Battis. Hope to see you right back here for your local news again tomorrow night at 6. Until then, have a good night.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast.